In contemporary times, much concern is given to de facto police segregation toward minorities, yet rarely are the Supreme Court cases which mandate this possibility understood. Within these cases are rulings that allow police to stop and frisk suspect individuals and to use force beyond self-defense. Each of these cases share a similar ruling, a perfectly rational decision which irrationally applies to minorities. The misuse of stop and frisk and deadly force, however, emanate from the difficult de facto racism of individuals rather than inherent biases on the Supreme Court. Stop and frisk is written as an exception to normal Fourth Amendment search and seizure in the Supreme Court case Terry v. Ohio. The court maintains that stop and frisk involves the Fourth Amendment, but clarifies that the warrant clause does not apply to this type of police practice. They expand their interpretation of stop and frisk further by additionally claiming that the probable cause standard also does not apply to such behavior. In the stead of the warrant clause, SCOTUS urges a different test of legality of stop and frisk, wherein a police officer must use clear facts and rational inferences to prove a degree of reasonability in his or her response to a suspicious individual. In later cases, SCOTUS articulates this requirement further and calls it reasonable suspicion, similar to probable cause, yet less strict. The court allows justifiable stop and frisk, yet it fails to clearly articulate all criteria of justification. In Tennessee v. Garner, the court reviews a similar question on the permissible conduct of police officers as in Terry v. Ohio, but in this case, that question boils down to whether deadly force can be used to prevent a suspect from fleeing. The Supreme Court finds that yes it can, but probable cause is required. They clarify two criteria necessary to accommodate deadly force within the jurisdiction of the Fourth Amendment. 1. A suspect must be fleeing, and 2. The officer must have probable cause that the suspect is capable of harming the officer or the surrounding community. Only if these criteria are fulfilled can an officer use deadly force to stop a fleeing suspect. Scott v. Harris expands SCOTUS's view of legal deadly force under the Fourth Amendment. Similar to Tennessee v. Garner, Scott v. Harris justifies an officer's use of deadly force. In this case, SCOTUS reiterates its belief that if fleeing suspects put their surrounding community at risk, then deadly force is warranted. Finally, in Wren v. United States, SCOTUS issues an example of permissible search and seizure. They allow the search and seizure of a vehicle for reasonable causes, such as a benign traffic violation, even if that vehicle may contain individuals experiencing undue levels of anxiety and stress for whatever reason. In other words, SCOTUS recognizes the need to balance the harm search and seizure can cause to an individual, but only when such search and seizure is potentially unreasonable or is not explicitly enumerated under the Fourth Amendment. An example of this type of search and seizure is stop and frisk. Although these decisions are not flawed in and of themselves, the potential they create to exploit minorities is great. Because man is not perfect, including police officers, more perfect laws must be expressed to achieve truly blind justice, while these Supreme Court cases allow for racially unequal bias in police conduct.